So, what if I told you that you could completely transform the most crucial part of a job interview with just 3 questions? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down in this explainer. A super powerful technique that does just that. We've all been there, right? The interview's going great, you feel like you're crushing it, and then you hear it. So, do you have any questions for us? It feels like a simple closing. But here's the thing, it's not just a closing. It's this golden opportunity that, honestly, most people just completely miss. So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to dig into why this moment is such a massive turning point. Then I'll introduce you to a framework called the strategic triangle. After that, we'll get into the 3 specific killer questions you need to ask. And finally, we'll see how this whole thing helps you shift into what I call colleague mode. Okay, let's dive right in. Why is this part of the interview such a huge deal? Look, this is about way more than just showing off that you did your homework. This is your one chance to completely change the entire dynamic of the conversation. Okay, so look at this. On one side, you've got your typical questions, right? Things like, what's the company culture like? And they're fine, but they keep you stuck in candidate mode. You're still the one being graded. But on the other side, strategic questions. Man, these completely flip the script. They position you as a future colleague, as someone who's already thinking about how to solve their biggest problems. So the big question is, how do you actually make that shift from candidate to colleague? Well, it all comes down to this really simple but incredibly powerful structure. It's designed to completely change how that interviewer sees you. Let's take a look. And here it is. We call it the strategic triangle. And its entire purpose, its whole reason for being, is to transform that one-way evaluation into a real collaborative discussion. Just think about that for a second. You're shifting the entire conversation from, hey, am I good enough for you, to, okay, how can we solve this problem together? See the difference? It's huge. All right, so the framework is built on these 3 key pillars. First, preserve. This is all about showing you respect what's already working. You're not just coming in to tear things down. Second, prioritize. This shows you can cut through all the noise and find what's really important. And third, prove. This one's about showing you're totally focused on delivering real, measurable results. Each one of these has a very specific question tied to it. And that brings us to the heart of this whole technique. Let's break down each of these 3 questions, what they are and why they work so damn well. Okay, question number 1. This is the preservation question. Now, think about it. Most candidates, what do? They want to jump right in and talk about all the things they're going to change, all the things they'll fix, but you're going to do something different. You start with this. What's working well that you want to protect? This question is just brilliant. Why? Because it instantly shows you have a mature business mindset. It proves you get that success isn't just about blowing things up and starting over. It's about protecting what already works. You immediately come across as a strategic thinker, not just some hotshot looking to make a splash. All right, on to question number 2. This is what I call the trade-off question. And wow, is it sharp. You're basically asking them to make a really tough choice, to tell you their number 1 priority. I mean, think about it. Any hiring manager can give you a laundry list of 10, 12 different challenges they're facing. But this question, it forces them to reveal their single biggest pain point. It just cuts right through all the noise and tells you exactly what they need solved, like right now. This not only frames you as a super strategic thinker, but it also gives you this incredible insider information. And for the final piece of the puzzle, question number 3. This is the success metrics question. It's all about results. You ask, how will you know this role is adding genuine value? What a question. This immediately signals that you're not just some drone focused on a to-do list. You are focused on outcomes. It shows you care about accountability, about results. You're basically asking them, how do we win here? And that, my friends, is the question a high-performing colleague always asks. Okay, so you ask these 3 questions. What's the payoff? What happens? Well, it all leads to the ultimate goal of this strategy, a complete fundamental shift in how they see you. Okay, now here's the secret that most candidates just don't get. By the time they turn the tables and ask for your questions, the formal evaluation is pretty much over. They've probably already decided if you have the skills for the job. This isn't a test anymore. This is your moment to take control of the whole conversation. And you have about 3 minutes to do it. That's it. It's this tiny little window of opportunity, but it is incredibly powerful. This is your chance to stop being the person begging for a job and start being the person they need to hire to solve their problems. And this right here, this captures that transformation perfectly. You see, you're no longer just the candidate who's being passively evaluated. No, you become a future colleague, someone who's actively collaborating with them. The interviewer literally stops thinking, can this person do the job? And starts picturing you in the job, solving problems right alongside them. It's a total shift from being a subordinate asking for a chance to being a peer who's discussing strategy. So that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the ultimate goal. The next time you're in an interview, just remember the strategic triangle. Try asking just one of these questions and see what happens. Because the real win isn't just getting the job offer. It's having them start planning with you before you've even walked out of the room.